All right, hello, internet.
If I mute myself and run off, that's just me throwing up. Don't mind me.
We'll say that
For
burp, head
yeah,
sound, and volume.
for the sake of spiciness, I really hope you don't.
Do you mind?
No,
Never.
she doesn't. Yeah.
I love you. Okay, we're good on Twitch. Good
Did
on
you see the
YouTube.
sour candy photo I posted on the Discord, Boston?
Yes, it was very good.
Uh-huh. Go over there. You literally have been asleep on the couch all day, and now you want to get into a conversation.
Okay,
Cat.
should be live. Moon, if you want to show off your doobly-doo.
Yeah, I mean, do you want me to get it? Because
I mean, that's up to
I want
you.
you to shoot it live on air. I want you to take your webcam outside, and I want to see.
I'm not even. I'm not even going to take it outside. I'll just fire it right here. I don't care. So, Boston, have you assembled yours yet?
No, I have not had the time or the wherewithal to assemble mine yet.
The reload mechanism is insane.
I have seen some GIFs of how to reload your Nerf Gallarhorn, which Moon is going to go grab in all of its heftiness. Also, didn't realize it needs batteries. A bunch of it lights up.
So the Gallahorn looks like it stands at a hefty 4 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Weighs,
That's the bit that lights up Boston.
Yeah,
nice little flashlight.
Lights.
Or is it like a reticle?
It's through the reticle.
Yep.
That looks like that would blind you if you tried to look through it.
Yeah.
It 100% does.
Yeah. For anyone
the reticle is.
It's like they were like, all right, let's put a red dot in this thing, but instead of making it an actual red dot, we're just gonna paint a red dot and then turn on a bunch of LEDs inside of this thing.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, it does come with Wolfpack rounds, so each shot shoots shots.
Ooh, I was gonna say, how big are those? Dang, that's like a Coke can.
Yep, and each one of those has 3 Nerf things in it.
Nice.
So to load it, you literally load the Nerf darts into the canisters, and the canisters are essentially the thing that goes in and gets ejected on reload mechanisms.
Yep.
Cool.
So I don't know how I'm going to do this effectively. You gotta flip this little bad boy up. Wait, hold on. Nope. That down. Push that forwards.
Yep.
There you go.
So far, true to game.
That popped up. Stick that thing in. Hold on. Stick it in the right way.
I think you're loading it backwards, but
yeah, the explosive part goes away from you.
Yeah. Point
not
towards
when
enemy.
I play, it doesn't. Come on, you know that. And then this is surprisingly tough. You pull the first frame down.
Oh wow!
And then when it locks here, that's when it's ready to fire.
That's wild. Nice. Again, just like the game.
What figures do I not? Oh, okay. Face hugger. Hi, microphone.
He knocks over his monitor.
Guardian down.
So big. Remember, make sure you have clearance in the back.
That's right.
Go away.
It's just a monitor. It's fine. I'm waiting for him to knock out his light. There you go. I saw all 3 of them shoot out.
So the canister doesn't shoot out with it as well, or?
Correct. That stays in the barrel.
I was trying to think. I was thinking that the canister shot out and then the dart shot out
when
after the canister.
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
something.
Just like in the game. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's what I was sitting here trying to figure out. It's like, okay, how do they get that? I would assume it's spring-loaded and probably hits a mechanism on its way out. And...
yeah. That's an incredibly cool giant thing. And the box is super cool.
It is, yes. Mine was torn in half by the delivery company.
Thanks, guys.
So, like, this huge box arrived. It had a hole right down the side.
Oh, boy.
And I was like, what the fuck did I order that's this big? Like, the thing I just ordered is this big. It's tiny.
Right.
Like, what did I order?
Here's the thing from 9 months ago, bitch.
Yep. I opened the box and I saw the wolf logo. I was like, shit.
There it is.
I was like, it's the Galahorn.
Oh, man. Good times. I've been using the Nerf skin for the G-Horn in-game, too, which makes it look exactly like that, and it's really good.
Man, that orange.
Yep. It's real good.
It's so bright, dude.
It really is.
Uh-huh.
Full on Nerf orange.
It's kind of funny. Like, I'm of two minds. I enjoy the fact that they made it Nerf orange.
Yep.
But I'm also like, you couldn't have done like the gold gelding and, you know.
Yeah, I wonder how much they can't because of it being a Nerf thing. You know, like, I wonder how much Nerf is like, no, man, it's going to be orange.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Good
stuff.
stuff.
It's a big boy. It's a very, very, very big boy.
Yeah. Seeing a bunch of those at Comic-Con over the next couple months, probably.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, now we just need... we just need a couple Hawk Moons, a Thorn.
That's right. Where is, my Thorn is up there. I have a full life replica one.
Yeah, I was gonna say that replica one that was sent to you. That one looked real nice.
It's real cool. It's very heavy too. It is solid metal.
Oh, okay, cool.
It would be hilarious if we ended up getting a bunch of like Nerf Guardians where they do like the fancy armor but in white and orange.
Right. It'd be great. Oh man. All right. Are you guys ready to get started?
No.
If they did a Nerf season pass for Destiny 2, I might actually go back in and play it.
That'll be the season you're in for? Yeah. I wouldn't blame you.
Anyway, yeah.
All right, starting...
Season of the Neon.
Yeah, there you go. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpeer.
Hi.
And the Nymph.
My microphone's still
Hello.
working. Yes.
Yeah, you're still good.
Patreon.com/E1M1.
Those ones are the numbers.
Reminder that the very first episode of our brand new show, The Wayward Sons, which is a supernatural, the TV show, watchcast, airs this week on February 14th. That's season 1, episode 1, aka the pilot. Not the pilot for the show, but the pilot for the show.
They're actually both called the pilot. It's the pilot and the pilot.
That's right. Yeah. So the first episode will be free. It will be available for free on both the public feed, which is the one you're probably listening to right now, unless you're on YouTube. Hi. It will also be for free on Patreon. But episodes after that will be on the $5 or higher tier. So you can go over there and sign up and get not only Wayward Sons and all the future episodes of the... just a short show of 15, 26 episode seasons.
Stop saying it. Just stop it.
You can get all, and we don't delete any episodes, so you'll get, even if you're listening to this in the future, you can get all of the Wayward Sons episodes along with all of the other shows, like early access to We Roguelike It, the show where Moon and I are playing every roguelike in history. Our next game, we're just finishing up Slay the Spire. Our very next game will be Despot's Game. So if you want to play along with us, it's on Xbox One, Series consoles, and PC on Game Pass. So you can pick that up and play as a very different roguelike from pretty much anything else we have played. So go check that out.
Good. I look forward to that.
Yeah, I played a lot of it this week to the detriment of everything else. So
of life.
Yeah. So go check that out. We're also we're currently recording season 19 of Critical Misses, where we're doing a little bit of something different. Critical Misses is a show where Moon and I are catching up on all the media hits we missed. Moon looks stressed.
Because
Uh-oh.
You reminded me by saying Critical Misses. Dude, did you catch the Fast 10 trailer?
I have not yet because I want to put it on my TV in 4K. I have that soundbar. I want to feel the acting from Dom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, season 1, episode 11 coming at some point to follow up on season 20 or something. Oh boy. Yeah. So Critical Misses. I think season 18 is coming out on the public feed here pretty soon. I don't exactly remember, but if you're a patron at the $5 tier or higher, you get I think they're genuinely entertaining, at the very least, to hear us kind of inflict damage upon each other where we do the production meetings. I'm talking about kind of all the behind-the-scenes stuff for planning and creating the Critical Misses.
I I don't know if they're entertaining.
Well,
They're damaging, definitely.
that is for sure. And then
season 18, episode 2 dropped on Patreon last week.
Yeah. So that's wrapping up on Patreon, and you get 2-month early access over on the Patreon for that. And last but certainly not least, don't forget about the Outcast. It's the uncensored kind of stuff we talk about before the show. We actually talked about video games this time, which is very unusual. Yeah, we maybe do it once a year or so. So if you want to get some damage over there about maybe damaging our wallets, and then Moon maybe tries a new drink, which is damaging in a totally different way.
No.
All of that can be found patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones and numbers, I guess. I don't.
Moon, let's talk about happier things for you than what you have been imbibing. What have you been playing this past week?
No, you say happier things like I have a happy game on my list.
Oh no, okay. Bummer.
Like, okay, let's talk about Neko Golf, the golf game with cats.
Oh yeah,
which
Neko Golf.
The secret to that one is the fact that there's only one cat, and it's the one that pops your ball in the hole if you're close enough.
That's true.
It's literally the only cat in the game. I'm so annoyed.
Nice.
Oh, and the guy has a phone shaped like a cat too. Like, why can't why can't it just be cats playing golf?
There are no results for Neko Golf on YouTube, which is really funny.
I don't think you're searching hard enough. There's got to be some.
I don't think I want to search
of
that
cats
hard.
playing golf. Yeah,
probably not that much.
Don't even put the game on. Just find a video of someone making a cat play golf.
There you go.
Yeah, jeez. I've kept playing this since we first talked about it. I'm getting used to the controls, so I think the key for me is I managed to make it to silver. So I unlocked the tournaments. So now there's like weekly tournaments that I'm taking part in.
Oh, cool.
Where it's like, oh, you have 2 days to do these 3 holes. You get 4 attempts at each kind of thing. And then if you make it in the top, if you get -2, you make it through from the qualifiers. If you get top 75, you make it through to the semis, so on and so forth. It's really... It's become my I'm not in the mood for Marvel Snap kind of mode. If that makes any sense at all, I hope it does.
You're like wind down game.
Just looking for something different.
Yeah, you don't want to play Marvel Snap right now. That's cool.
True. Honestly, it's also one of those games where it's just like I can just put it on and not have to worry about anything too much. My big downside is, of course, it's a golf game. So like all golf games, if you don't practice, what's gonna happen?
Get rusty.
This anime lady that bodies you in the tutorial is gonna mess you up. My favorite thing about the tutorial in this game is
in real life. Yeah,
that's right. She comes to your house. My favorite part about this tutorial is like you're golfing and you're doing pretty okay, and then this like cute anime lady is like, hee, it's my time to try, and then she like, hurrah, and like just cooks it. It's just like, what the hell?
And then she looks at you, being like, "You think you're good, huh?"
That's right. Been on this course for 2,000 years.
I totally forgot to mention the best thing about the tournaments is you select your golfer and your clubs from the set for the tournaments. So everyone is using the same gear or the same options of gear.
That's really nice.
It's not what you've unlocked, it's what the tournament options allow. But one of them didn't allow an approach wedge, and I was like, are you serious? Like,
what am I supposed to do? But
you're not going to let me use approach wedges?
It's
really?
nice to know that the game, once you unlock tournaments, it's not like the whales are cracking their knuckles. Be like, yeah, man, it's time to get these guys.
Yeah, it's been genuinely, it is an actual blue sky game.
Yes, that's true.
Which I kind of need a little bit of, despite all of its money grubbing, give me your money now. Gotcha things that Boston's used to, and I have no idea how to manage.
And you'll get your triple S unit. It's like, no, stop it, don't do that.
No, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to save 250,000 gems, and then I'm going to buy everything that's in one of those banners when I eventually get to that number of gems.
Yep.
I'm not spending gems before then.
Yep,
period.
You'll get your pity pull and you'll be good.
Exactly.
That's the way to do it.
I won't spend money.
Yeah.
He says as he buys another season pass in Marvel Snap. Speaking of Marvel Snap.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Marvel Snap. That's... So they made a lot of balance tweaks recently, which I'm quite kind of I'm pleased with, to be honest. Like, we talked about this last week, so I'm only going to mention it in passing. I got 3 leader drops where people dumped him on the right-hand lane this week.
Yes.
I was like, my guys, like, read the card.
Right.
Like, your game updated. We're playing the same version. Like, all you gotta do is look at the card, and you'll know that your pathetic little tactics don't work no more.
I think my only, I guess, criticism of how they've been patching lately is they've worked it out so that they can patch the rebalance cards and stuff in the game without having to push a full patch.
A major update.
Yeah, and I think that's really great, but I think they need to promote that somewhere in game, because I'm not on the Discord, I'm not following the Twitter account or whatever. I only really know when we're talking about it in our Discord chat, and I'm not paying attention to that.
We know it because Marvel Snap representative Bill is in our Discord. That's right. How we all find out about it.
That's right. Soon to be, second dinner developer Bill Sefford. Yep.
That's how we all know about it, because there's a couple of guys in there though who honestly just drop here's a bunch of news, here's a bunch of patch notes. It's okay, cool.
I greatly appreciate it.
I wouldn't read this if it wasn't for you. So thanks.
Yep, 100%.
But it's fun. I still haven't bought MODOK because my prerequisite is to hit level 50, so therefore I need to hit level 50 before I do so. So
I do like that it is a MODOK season, because MODOK is goofy. And MODOK's thing is just
as soon as it showed up, you would lose your mind in Discord. Yes, MODOK season.
I like MODOK. He's pretty great. What is his thing? He just destroys
everything in your hand.
Yeah, and I was just immediately was like, that's not for me. That's not a card for my playstyle. No, thank you.
Oh, hey, my cards with the best borders and the best patterns is my Hella deck.
Oh yeah, that's a spicy deck.
MODOK is 100% for me.
That's true. Destroy them all, bring them back the next turn.
Exactly.
Yep. That's a cool deck.
And of course, Bill is already here is 4 potential.
I know,
decks
it's great
for MODOK based on what I'm trying. It's
keep on keeping on, Bill. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, it's handy because he saves me all the effort of having to do it myself in my limited time. I get 30 minutes of console time, and I get 20 minutes of mobile phone game time. So I have to divide my time evenly.
Right.
And then I occasionally watch an episode of Supernatural or something. But anyway, speaking of sad games, no, I'm not going to talk about that one yet. I'll save those 2 till last.
Secrets.
I think. I played Dead Space a little bit. It's still Dead Space Boston. Don't even worry about it. I'm going to fly over this real quick because nobody else is playing it except for me, apparently, in our group.
Right.
Correct.
I still love Dead Space.
Hey, guess what? Dead Space is still good, and now it looks better.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that they made changes to some things, too. I was actually, someone had posted, not in our Discord, but I had seen somewhere else that they changed the meteorite shooting gallery thing, where that's completely different, and there was a couple other things here and there that are completely different from the original. And everyone seems to really like the changes that they made, so it's all right, that seems cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have a secret alternate ending now as well,
right.
And now they have a bunch of side missions with increased backstory, The Division. Do you remember the hologram things you'd find in The Division?
Yep.
They do that now with Nicole and other characters. So
that's cool.
You're seeing things that happened on the Ishimura before you got there, and
that's a
stuff
nice
like
addition.
that.
I like that. Where it's not here's a different game. It's just we're gonna flesh out some of the stuff that maybe came in 2 and 3, and maybe kind of put some more of the pieces together. That's cool.
Isaac has a voice. That's
the biggest change they
could have made. I am, because it's one of those things where we found it in Dead Space 1, like when you're the technician, you're the tech guy, you're the mechanic, you're the guy who fixes stuff. And then the captain who's in charge of the ship is be like, okay, you need to go do this, this, and this in order to fix this situation. And Isaac would say nothing because he couldn't talk. Whereas now, the captain's like, how do I fix this? What do we need to do? And Isaac's like, okay, if I do this, then maybe this, I might just be able to do this, and then hopefully that will allow me to reroute the power to get it back to where we need. So Isaac is the one making the suggestions about the fixes, which is his job.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
The Marine captain that went with you is telling you how to fix an engine. It's like, shut up, man. You just know how to shoot a rifle. And not even that good.
Yeah, exactly.
Although I did see on Twitter yesterday that they did add in, because this wasn't in the original release of the first one, they added this in 2. Then when you stomp on a necromorph a whole bunch of times, he swears. So now that's in the first one too, which is great.
Yeah, he does.
Yep.
He does.
These are all the good improvements that I think you really want to have in this game.
There's a lot of GDs getting spouted, we'll say.
Great. Hey man,
because
necromorphs are intense.
Yeah, in my impossible playthrough, I finally got to the point where they're starting to spawn the bird things.
Oh no.
Uh-huh.
No thanks.
Yay!
Which are the worst in that game.
Yep.
I absolutely despise the stupid bird things just for what they can do.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I'm walking into an area and I'm like, I think this is a bird area. I'm pretty sure this is a bird area.
Zone.
So I'm going to make sure that my stasis is all the way full and I'm 100% prepared for all of these birds.
Everything's reloaded. My health looks good.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, a brute smashed through the wall. I can deal with them fine. Stasis run around the back, pop, 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 you're done.
But off in the distance, caw-caw. It's like, nope, bye, see ya.
Like, if you don't hear the birds and stop the birds, then you've got a much bigger problem on your hands than you realize.
That's right.
So yeah, the game is so good still.
Yeah.
Like,
how far in are you at this point?
I'm like 6 hours in. I'm to like chapter 5. There's like 14 chapters.
Oh, okay.
Well, and you're playing it on the hardest difficulty too, and that's why I was asking. I just didn't know if you've hit a wall yet, or
no.
Despite your best planning, you haven't found something that you can figure out yet, kind of thing.
I got up to the. Again, anytime I talk about this, minor spoilers for Dead Space if you haven't played the original. I got up to the point where there's giant holes in the hull of corridors, like pushed inwards. And you guys might remember what happens around those holes.
Yes.
I got my first one of those and immediately had a panic attack. I was like, oh no, I might die. Oh no, I might die.
This is the end.
I might die.
Yeah.
So I handled that with dignity and aplomb and dealt with the situation perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Dignity of somebody running as fast as they can to an exit.
Yeah. Only cried a little bit. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, Dead Space was. I think it was probably because we did the generational thing. I think Dead Space might be up there number 1 or 2 as a game of the generation for me.
Oh, for sure.
And this is just. Yeah, the only reason this might struggle to take the same kind of thing is because it's Dead Space again. Like, it's the only thing that might harm it is it's not the first Dead Space.
Yeah.
After this, I've got the Dead Body Protocol or whatever that I need to play after it and see just how terrible that thing is based on what everybody's saying. I don't even know the name of it. I was really excited for it. Continuum... something, I don't know.
Hey man, I don't know.
The other game made by the guy who made Dead Space. It's
the
PUBG
Callisto
game.
Protocol.
That's the one.
There we
go.
Yep.
I've got to play
Dead
that
Space 1.5.
Yes.
Yeah.
And see exactly how bad it is. So,
right.
I don't know. It's so good. I still love the lights. I still love the effects.
Go play Dead Space
every time it happens. Yeah, you really should. Every time it happens, I keep forgetting about it. But when you upgrade your suit and you go into that store and the doors close and the big welding thing goes up the middle of it,
it's so cool.
Still a quality moment.
Oh man, I totally forgot about that.
Is that still a safe zone, or have they messed with that? And I know That is kind of a touchy question.
Exceptions,
okay, yeah.
Which were the same few exceptions in the first Dead Space. But other than that, so far they have all been relatively safe zones. Yes,
as safe as they can be on the hardest difficulty.
The betrayal that I felt the first time they screwed you on.
How could you do this to me?
Yeah. You open a bench and it starts the menu loading thing, and then you get hit from behind. Just like, what?
How? Yeah.
It's like, don't you know horror games have
it right now?
I played a bit more Monster Hunter Rise. It's still amazing. I'm still Hunter rank 4 because I'm not a big weeaboo like my other friends who played this game too much. I love you guys. Keep dragging me upwards. Thank you.
I finally unlocked the level 2 missions for the village yesterday with my son, because my son and I played online too as well. So we have to do the online portion, I forget, what do they call it? The value target thing? There's after you do a certain amount of missions. Yeah, critical, whatever. After you do a certain amount of regular missions, they have like a specific mission that you have to take, and then that'll bump your rank up for that side. So I have to do that with my son for the multiplayer, but the single player, I just unlocked the level or the 2-star missions. And that's been fun. I also upgraded my twin daggers, so I'm running around with twin axes, and that's actually made a surprising difference from what I was doing before. But,
yeah. I hate it when Boston puts a video of this up, because it's just like, dude, this is like super high ranked play. Like, why are you showing me this?
I was just looking at it, like, what is he using right now?
That's part of the reason why I like putting it up, because like early Monster Hunter is sort of like, yeah, you're fighting like
it's very JRPG, one might say.
You're a little guy fighting a little guy. That stuff's okay, but
that's a tire, isn't it?
Yeah, this guy's wielding 2 spiky tires and fighting some sort of triple-tailed dragon. Like that's the Monster Hunter I want to see.
God. But I am getting to the point with the twin daggers that I'm thinking of switching over to the charge sword. I think it is. Because I think that's what I landed on last time in World. Eventually, was switching over to the charge sword.
Is that the very first one that shows up, or is that the one that like? I think the charge sword is that's the sword and board that changes, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, and you can attach them and build up charges and cause like a massive attack or whatever. I know in World at least. I don't know if it's the same in this one. I don't think they stray that far from how the weapons work, but
yeah, I think it's the sword and shield version of what I use, which is the switch axe, which is between a big massive axe and a giant sword. So
wow,
I think it's the shorter version of that.
But the way that they both transfer, both the axe and the charge sword, the way that you can change them
out of combos,
or using Bloodborne terms, the way that you can trick the weapon mid-battle. Yeah, I might be switching over soon, but I'm still having a lot of fun doing the dual swords right now.
I'm at the point now where I'm focused mostly on... I hate seeing this person just do all these acrobatics and just like, oh yeah, look how cool I am. I'm gonna mount one monster.
I'm still trying to figure out how to pin them down every once in a while, because I see my son do it all the time, and I'm like, oh crap, I bet you that's something that I need to figure out.
Well, I officially stopped. Like when I play online, I tend to play with Rob and our group there. I officially stopped doing the send help request, which is the Monster Hunter World Flare equivalent. I stopped doing that because like everybody comes in and like they all they care about is killing the monsters. It's like, no, only rookies kill, pros trap. Like that's what we do.
Yeah,
because the material gain is so much better when you trap.
Do you think that's a side effect of? Are you getting matched with lower level Monster Hunters at the same rank that maybe this is their first one they're playing?
Potentially, yes. Or this might even just be the second one, and maybe they like played enough of Monster Hunter World to get into it, and then this rang a bell, so they thought they'd give it a try. So it might be one of those situations.
Because this one's on Game Pass, right?
Yep.
Correct.
Okay.
Don't know if it's cross-play between Game Pass and Switch or not.
It is not. It is not cross-play between any of the consoles.
Bummer.
Okay.
From what I looked up, because I had to re-look up how my son and I can play with each other, because
changes every time, man.
Well, and we did it the first time, and I didn't remember how we did it last time, but there is an online hub that you go to for doing missions and stuff. So I was thinking, okay, since there is a literal area in the game called the online hub, I figured how you invite characters into
it's got to be that.
No, it is not.
You got to leave the hub, talk to the cat, put yourself in the lobby first. I have to go talk to
the online cat who's standing nowhere. Well, I mean, he's
close,
standing next to the hub, but yeah, he's not there.
Right.
Is the problem. I had to look up a video on this stupid thing.
Then you talk to him, you create a lobby, then you send an invite through the Xbox menu because screw trying to find out how to do it any other way.
Yeah.
And then that's when you get in the same lobby as people. And then that's when you start the missions. But don't forget they need to accept the mission, then ready for the mission, because then if they don't do that and you ready for the mission first, you'll leave without them and they'll be left behind.
Yeah, we remembered that part because I kept telling my son, it's like, hey, you need the check before I can leave. And so he goes and accepts it. I'm like, all right, cool. Now we figure out if I had to accept it or not. Or
Right. I love it so much.
Yeah. It is so in the weeds with the menu.
Yeah.
The hilarious thing is this is user-friendly.
Yeah, this is the improved quality of life one.
Like, how scary is that?
World, I'm pretty sure, had a menu in the pause menu for you to start an online. I remember it being a lot simpler in World.
Yes, because it didn't have the single player multiplayer thing that this one does, where it's like
kind of
you always had the thing, and that's what the flare was. Like, if you needed help, you could, like, in the middle of a mission, just fire a flare, and then it would start pinging people that you need help, and then they could just jump straight into your game right then and there and help you out. And not just friends, but everybody. It would ping a whole bunch of people who were, like, local and be like, this person needs help. Do you want to help them? It's like, yeah, cool. Then you'd wirebug into the sky and then land in somebody else's game.
Man, Monster Hunter, you're cool. You're a cool game.
Yeah, Rob is deep in the weeds in this, and it's hilarious because I'll just get like updates from him, and he starts saying things at me, and I'm just like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm not there yet, Rob. I'm sorry.
It's like, I don't know.
Yep.
Like, he is maximizing his Palicos at the moment.
Oh, he's all the way deep. Oh, man. Goodness.
It's like, you need this type with this type of skills, and these 3 skills need to be in that list because the first and the last skill are the same. It's like, I love you because I don't have to read
unlocked
Wikipedia.
being able to unlock the skills for the Palamute and the Palamute. That was something my son had to tell me about because I hadn't gone into that forested area where you can do that and you can get more of them. And that's when he was like, oh, hey, no, if you just do this, this, and this, you can start adding skills to them. And I'm like, all right, cool. There's 3 of them that they could already have, so I guess they are better.
Right.
Yep. I'm just waiting for my 3rd submarine to be available, too.
I found out about that stupid thing, too, the little fish submarine.
Yeah. Yeah, you send your little cats off in submarines. It's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
Oh, that thing is so it's almost online with the Chef Cat from the first game, where basically you have this literal fish submarine that's made out of like a wooden barrel. And your Palico jumps on top of it, and another Palico pushes it before yours gets in the sub. So it loses its feet, jumps up in the air, and then falls into the sub, and then it just goes on its merry way.
That's great.
Yep. And that's basically a way of gathering items. He will go out and gather items for you while he's doing that. So
yeah, I've got him getting honey from you right now, so I can keep making mega potions.
Sleep herbs for me, so I can keep making tranquilizers and keep capturing those monsters. But it's like you're running a little city at the same time, Boston. It's ridiculous.
All of this sounds so good.
Then you know what? You have Game Pass. I'm just saying.
I do.
And if you need help, I'm right here. Rob's right here. We've all got it.
Yeah.
We're all ready to go.
Maybe someday.
You should play World because World is beautiful.
Yeah, this game's no slouch either, but like World is incredible looking.
Yes. This is a watered down Reach for the Moon engine game.
That's right. Yep.
Switchified, one might say.
Right.
Yep.
Oh boy. Okay. Do I talk about the funny one or the sad one first?
Sad one.
Yeah, let's go for the sad one. Let's end on a high note.
Okay. For the next.
So we have an acrobatic cat here.
Thank you, Louise, for jumping all over me again. For the next 16 days, you can catch me in Graptal City.
Oh, yeah.
Catch me outside with these fisticuffs.
Or in my case, the regular old heavy attack. So, yeah, I've been playing a whole bunch of Rumbleverse because I have one achievement left to go in Rumbleverse, and that is literally hit people with vicious attacks while they're defending.
Okay.
I got to do it 100 times, and I have 16 days until the servers close.
Right.
While at the same time, playing roguelikes and Game Club games and everything else under the sun. Rumbleverse is really good. Like, really, really good. Like, I don't like battle royales. That's why I kind of never stuck with it, because it's not my genre of game. I don't play Apex. I don't play Apex anymore. I don't play Call of Duty. I don't play the Division version that's a roguelike secretly at the same time. I don't play Call of Duty. Or PUBG. Like, these games are not my kind of games. I just don't like to play them normally. But I'm one achievement away from a full completion, so I figured I'd give Dave Langer his props and at least try and get, the full completion for his game before it closes its doors forever.
Right.
It's so good. Like, the only downside about it is very much a skill-based game, which is probably why it didn't have the life it needed to have. Because you're talking about a niche within a niche within a niche.
Sure.
Like, wrestling fans, battle royale fans, and skill-based matchmaking fans. Like, that's like 3 niches too deep.
You're asking a lot.
Yeah, that is honestly probably the reason why this is closing down. That mixed with Epic, maybe, because something tells me Dave Lang would leave this thing running as long as it goes.
Yeah, 100%.
I didn't know there was a move called dive kick in the game.
That's great. I didn't know that either. 2 thumbs up.
I does exactly what it says on the tin. He jumps straight up and then jumps diagonally down in a kick motion.
Great.
Exactly what you'd expect. It's so good. Like, it plays well. It feels good to play. I have absolutely destroyed some people, and then in other times I have been absolutely destroyed. And that's because these people know the game better than me. That's fine. I get it. It's the whole point of skill-based games. But I'm not going to throw my controller at the wall and complain.
Right.
But I went from 11% on my achievement to 52%.
Oh, nice.
So I will be continuing to enjoy the Rumbleverse while it lasts. Fingers crossed to get that achievement before everything ends.
So close.
I'm sure you can find a grinding group or something for that.
Yeah, when it really comes down to it, maybe.
Maybe, but random matchmaking like this, where you can't choose servers and things like that, makes it so much more difficult.
Can you guys communicate it all inside?
Nope.
Oh, I was going to say, because maybe once you get closer to the end and all of you are trying to get the same last achievement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so much that's so good about this game. I don't understand how it's as good as it is. I genuinely don't. I do hope it finds another place. Like, in all honesty, I would love for this game, except maybe Streets of Rage, where it's a huge city. And you get given a mission to go take out a gang leader, and you're a pro wrestler, and you get skills and moves and all that kind of stuff. That might work. I think that would be pretty solid. It's just it's kind of sad that this poor thing has to go away. It's the first game closure I've ever actually given a damn about, to be honest, because oh yeah, it is fun, it is great to play. So if you're interested in Rumbleverse, or you remember playing it and enjoying it and want to give it a farewell tour, just send me a message. I'm on Xbox. I think it's crossplay, and they are allowing tag teams, trios, and quadruple teams now.
Wow. Okay.
It's all better off. You can pretty much go how you feel like going.
That's cool.
But come on in. Let's diamond cut to some fools.
Yeah,
or
have a
something.
little fun in Grappital City.
It's been a blast. Like, and if you haven't heard the music that hits when you get fired out of a cannon in that game, like the starting music,
yep,
you really should, because it is some of the best music I've heard in a while for like getting you amped up for what's about to happen, and it is very quintessential video game, which I think is fantastic. But yeah, I will be playing Rumbleverse for the next 16 days, probably. Hit me up if you want to join in. My final game this week, because apparently I don't play enough. Side note, I did play a bunch of Signalis. Tune in next week for the Game Club episode on Signalis.
Yep.
I've got to make sure I get the name of this right, because there's like 4 of them on the Xbox.
Oh boy.
Paw Patrol, Mighty Pups Save the Day.
Okay. Is this on Game Pass?
It is on Game Pass.
I actually saw it today when I was scrolling through it.
Save the day. Hey man, the Mighty Pups are okay. I can get down with the Mighty Pups.
It might be Save Adventure Bay, maybe.
Either one of those, yeah.
Yeah, but dude, there's like 5 Paw Patrol games on Xbox. It's insane, and 3 of them are on Game Pass. Guess what's next on my docket? Paw Patrol and Paw Patrol.
Yeah, it is the Mighty Pups Save Adventure Bay.
Okay. It's a kids character action game. Now, let me correct that. It's a kids platformer game. There is no character action because there is no enemies in this game. It is literally about running around a space, collecting doggy treats, and solving problems with the Paw Patrol.
Oh, maybe that would be good for my kid, actually, because she doesn't
honestly
like losing.
That's what I was thinking.
Who among us truly does?
Right.
Yeah. It is very much a non-combative, non-stressful, like, kind of game. They have, like, driving sections where you're picking a lane of 3, like a runner. And guess what? You can hit something, but it literally does nothing to you. You do a little spin, it doesn't complain, you don't lose health. There isn't a health bar in the game.
Yeah, my kid plays a bunch of the, like, PBS Kids games on her iPad, and a lot of them are like that, where it's, like, it'll be 3 lanes and it'll be kind of an auto runner. And if you run into like an oil slick or something, it'll be like, ow, try to avoid those. And then like she just runs into another one and they're like, ow, try to avoid those. And it's like, it's good for kids.
Please mute that as soon as you can, kind of things.
Yeah, pretty much. I just tuned it out. I'm good.
No, I mean, the game looks shockingly good. I'll give credit where it's due, but they have all of the puppies. They do different things. Your missions are various. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. There's a mission where you have to find a chicken. Apparently, the chicken is a character in Paw Patrol.
Chickaletta, yes, Mayor Goodway's chicken.
I'm a
stay-at-home dad to a 6-year-old. I know all about Chickaletta, who uses the same chicken calling sample in literally every episode, which really tickles me. It's really great.
So that thing goes missing, and it's actually the level that you're doing the video for now. So you have to find the chicken, and at the very end of the level, once you beat it, the mayor's holding the chicken in the purse and stroking it. It is the funniest chicken animation I have ever seen in my life. Boston, I'm gonna keep talking. Find the end of this level.
Yeah, let me see if I can scrub through this level. Find Chickaletta.
It is absolutely fine. Like, it is a perfectly fine game. Like I said, it's non-combative. There's no lose or failure states.
And I gotta give them credit. They nailed the look of this show too. Like it looks
good,
exactly like the show, which is pretty impressive.
And like, all of the puppies have different skills which you need to use, and it has a bunch of mini games and quick time events which you can't fail. So it's teaching about the face buttons, stuff like that. It's relatively simple and really, really cool. Like as a younger gamer, this is something I might have enjoyed a fair amount. There's the animation.
Okay, so that's pretty close to what it does on the show. So basically, Chickaletta's neck is like bouncing back and forth as she gets pet by Mayor Goodway.
It's rubber necking, if you will.
Yeah, it's not too far off from what happens in the show sometimes. Yeah.
It's so, like, I saw that and I could not stop laughing. Like, I was literally just laughing. It was just like, I can't handle this right now.
Yep.
But
really
apparently
good.
some asteroid gives the pups superpowers, so they get
sure
like
does.
souped up versions of all of their normal skills, essentially. So the digger guy, I
Rubble,
think is
yes.
his name,
Yep.
has a much bigger digger, and like his
Oh, okay.
outfit changes, so he's got like a super suit kind of looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
They have a really dumb slow-mo section where the fast dog has to run really fast through an avalanche.
Okay.
It is
Very much the
perfectly
show.
fine.
Yep.
Yeah, it is absolutely fine. The stupid kid who reads you the missions annoys me, but I'm not going to complain. It's not aimed at me.
Mm-hmm.
The starting the level animation takes way too long. It's the same thing every time.
Just like the show.
And it is drop in, drop out co-op, Boston.
Oh, that's great. That's super helpful.
Yes. So being able, like, I think you do like the first part of the first mission, and then it's immediately drop in, drop out.
That's
So
cool.
it's very useful for that kind of, rather than in the Xbox's case, rather than go full co-pilot, it's just a case of, yeah, cool, let's just drop in, drop out as when needed.
That's cool.
But I told you my games are going to get weird.
Mm-hmm.
And they're officially starting to get weird.
I appreciate it, man.
That's cool.
I got
What's
another.
the achievement difficulty on this one and time to
3
beat?
hours, 3 to 5 hours. However, it's all collectible based. So if, say, for example, you happen to be playing with a young person who doesn't like collectibles and has no patience for finding collectibles, be prepared to play the level again, is all I'm saying.
That's all right. That's usually how it goes.
But it's fine. It's inoffensive at the very least, and at the very best, if you're a fan of the show, I'm sure it will make a bunch of references.
Yeah, it's got all the Paw Patrol stuff in there.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine, acceptable kids game for free. Thanks, Game Pass.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask. That's on Game Pass.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's Paw Patrol Mighty Pups Save Adventure Bay.
Yes.
Short title.
I will let you know about Paw Patrol something else, the Paw Patrol kart racing game, the Ben 10 action adventure game.
Yep.
Dude, they just added a new one of those
later.
Yep.
Or they at least changed the screenshot for the Ben 10 one.
Yep.
Because like I said, I was scrolling through today and I saw like a brand new one pop up. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm glad they're keeping that alive.
There's like 5, and they all have collector's editions and gold editions for like $90. And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Video games.
So, I don't know. But that's all I've been playing this week. Nim, please interrupt me and stop me. I've been talking for too long.
All right. Well, my first game that I will talk about is Marvel Midnight Suns.
Yay.
I have completed this game.
Oh, nice.
And I have rather enjoyed it. Talked with a couple of people here and there on the Discord and DMs and stuff like that, just to see how everyone else felt about it, because I absolutely enjoy this game. Shockingly, not shockingly. I wasn't paying attention to it at all. And like I said, it just took you guys talking about it on Pup, and I was like, man, that sounds stupid interesting. And then the only thing I wanted to do was play this game.
Yeah.
They do leave it open for a potential sequel.
Oh, nice.
And what they gave, my God, they do this stupid movie thing with Marvel things. There were 3 different credits, all interrupted with something happening in between.
Make sure to stay. They got the hot bangers here at the end.
Yep.
Right. At least it wasn't the Hawkeye closing sequence credits, the show for Hawkeye, because I can do without the Steve Rogers musical.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, I really liked it. I'm still flirting with the idea of getting the DLC crap later.
Yeah, that DLC is expensive.
Yeah, and like I said last time, it does sound like it might be worth it, but until it all comes out, I'm not.
We don't want to get Borderlands 2 where like it's like, yeah, that first DLC was great. Now here's 2 arena-based DLCs, and it's like, no, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm good.
But outside of that, though, it was just a lot of fun setting up my characters and just beating the heck out of the story. And now I might go back through and play it again. There is a new game plus, or I can continue it off from before I finish the game to wrap things up.
Right.
But I've already done all the stuff that you can't, like all the puzzle stuff with the abbeys. I already found all that extra stuff. So yeah, it was just a lot of fun. The only thing, like I said last time, that they could do without is just the light and dark system, and potentially adding more characters, which they're doing in the DLC.
Right.
So I hope that they play different enough that it's not like the Deadpool. I haven't tried him yet, but I'm hoping it's not just Wolverine with guns, pretty much.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but yeah, Midnight Suns, fantastic game. If you don't want to spend the $60, $70. Oh wait, no, that only came out on current gen, so the $70 for it. Wait for it to go on sale, but I would highly, highly recommend picking it up.
Nice.
A game that I cannot highly recommend picking up.
Oh no.
Dying Light 2.
Oh no.
I give it crap, but yeah, we, Angel and myself played some this week. There's a new update that came out, so.
Oh wow.
For all of my yang that I'm throwing at it, they are still supporting it. It broke our game for a little bit.
Why wouldn't it?
Yeah. So starting out, Angel I already got into his game, and I was trying to join his, and we ran into a brief problem where at first it would not let me join his game. Then it wouldn't even show that he was online, even though on Xbox I could see him on my friends list as being online. Excuse me. And then once he did finally pop up in game, I joined his game and we started playing. And then we're just talking. And then probably about a good 15 minutes goes by, and I realize I am not playing online with him. I am playing online with a complete stranger.
Perfect.
None of us knows who the person was that I was playing with, and we weren't talking. I wasn't talking to him because I was already in party chat with Angel Eyes.
Oh, that's so good.
But then once I got out of that, I was finally able to get into his game because there was still like some weird. It just would not connect for some reason. Finally got into his game. We continue on with our mission. I find out that we are only. The mission that we are currently on now is the 7th mission before we're at the end of the game.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I was kind of like, oh, thank God.
You kind of flew through that, dude. Like, it took us almost a year to the day to beat Dying Light 1.
I mean, we're getting there. Despite this game testing us on many levels. But with the new update, though, for some reason, it reset a lot of things. It's like now all of a sudden we come across something and it's running the whole tutorial thing for us again.
Oh, yeah.
And what it's doing is, since I am not the host, it's waiting for him to read through and approve it. So I'm just stuck at the screen and then he realizes, oh, crap, we already read this. We don't need it. And he clears it. And I'm getting attacked and I can't do anything about it because we're stuck in the stupid tutorial menu thing that it popped up. So like a lot of weird stuff with that. We get into our story mission finally after screwing around, and we come into an area that we just could not get through. They had like this one special infected inside this building that we wasted a bunch of time on. We finally killed it. There were 2 more. We managed to kill one of them. Didn't know about a 3rd one, which that one actually killed both of us.
Oh, wow.
So then we both respawn. And when you die in this game, any items that you've used and any weapons that you've lost due to degradation do not come back to you. However, they respawn every single enemy that you just killed.
Oh, thanks. How helpful.
Yeah, exactly. So we were like, you know what? Screw this. Let's get out of here so that we can replenish our supplies and then try this again. We go back to the entrance of this area. It's sealed off. We can't get out. So
oh my God.
Right there, we both almost called it. And then I was like, you know what? No, screw this. Let's just run through it. Let's not fight anything.
Yeah.
Let's just run. And luckily, it was like a small area. It was like an auditorium that we were in. And we started in like this small little hallway leading to it. And on the other side of that auditorium was like another hallway that had a bunch of tables and barricades that you had to crawl through, and then you were in the next area. So luckily, all we had to do was just run through that area and get through the barricades. I managed to make it through. Angeli kind of got hosed because the special infected chased him, and would not let him duck down through the barricade.
Oh, jeez.
And I don't remember if he died in that one or not, but either way, he ends up showing up in my area finally, which is just full of infected things. So I'm sitting here with like this giant batleth thing that I found that I'm trying to kill these zombies with, and that takes forever. And then we find the person that we're supposed to be talking to. They actually do. We were joking. The guy that we found, his name is Leon.
Of course it is.
The other guy that we are looking for that is in Leon's group is Chris.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going all the way. I like it.
Leon is going on and on about how, he's hurt and he wants us to give a letter to his wife, and we're both sitting there looking at him. I was like, dude, you're fine. Like, you're not even bleeding or anything. So we picked the option of, no, he wants us to give a letter to his wife, and we're like, no, hang on to that letter and give it to her herself. Like, dude, you're fine. Nothing happened.
Right.
We go into the next area, which is an arena area, and we notice this because all the vents on the floor have holes in them, and there's first aid cabinets everywhere. And it's like, okay, yep, we're going to flip the switch and things are going to go sideways.
Right.
And they do, but not in the way that we expected, because as we are turning on this generator, we have to go through and flip these breakers. When we flip the first breaker, they randomly put wires on the ground throughout this area that we didn't notice. So as soon as we flipped the first breaker, those all went active.
Oh, jeez.
And they were running through trying to kill zombies and try to flip the other breakers, and we're taking like massive damage, and we can't figure out why. And then that's when one of us realizes, oh, hey, this is a live wire now, and every time we step on it, we take damage.
Right.
So now we have to corral ourselves into this weird, like, outer U-shaped thing to run around and flip switches to avoid the wires, and it was a pain. It kind of sucked. But we cleared it, killed all the zombies. We get back, we start talking to this one guy, and somehow between then and us talking to this other person, Leon died. And we don't know how, because he was in a safe area. Whatever.
Well then.
Chris is also dead because he was turned infected, and I managed to, without even paying attention to the story at all, I see zombie, I kill zombie.
Right.
His part of his body was in one spot of the room, and the other part was in another spot of the room when I was done with him. And that's when we found out, oh, hey, this was Chris, and we were supposed to get something from him. So we had to search his body for the thing that we needed. So we knew that Chris was dead. We just don't know why Leon was dead.
Right.
I just have an itchy trigger finger, and that's why Chris is dead. And nobody cares but me. Yeah. So now we're on to this next area where we are climbing this TV tower. We're halfway up, it looked like, and that's where we decided to call it, just because we can leave now. We now have an egress to get out. We were talking to a bunch of people. Oh, and that was the other funny thing. All these guys are lined up, and they keep focusing on the camera when they talk to us. So it's like we'll have two guys who are like talking directly to each other, and you're kind of to their shoulder. They won't turn their body to talk to you. They'll just turn their head. So then it looks really weird.
Oh, that is weird.
And then there'll be a third guy who decides to start talking, who will walk into the other two and just kind of push them out of the way. But then he will turn his body so that he's acting like he's talking to the other person, but then turns his head to talk to, like, this is some weird Fallout stuff.
Right.
But they keep going on about this random stuff. Like this one guy starts talking about, it's like, oh man, after this, I'm going to propose to my girl and all. And it's like, oh, there's a death flag.
Yeah, it's my last day before retirement. I'm almost
That's
out.
exactly what I said. It's like, man, this guy might as well have told us he was 2 hours away from retirement, because that guy is dead.
100%.
Another guy's talking about like these brand new boots that he just got. And it's like, oh yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, he's also dead. He already got bitten.
We're already expecting that we're going to be the only survivors once again in this little foray that we're doing. Like so, yeah. But yeah, it's fine. It is still just a weird mess, and it doesn't. I can't remember. Is this team the one that's still doing the Dead by Day or the Dead Island 2? That's the old team, right? Or the other group? Okay.
Yes, this studio was founded from people who left the original studio that made Dead Island.
Right.
Because they felt like not enough development time was being made, or progress was being made on Dead Island 2. Spoiler alert, There's 2 Dying Lights. Dead Island 2 is still not out.
2 Dying Lights and a grip of DLC.
Yeah. So yeah, it is still being supported. It is still a weird mess. And the other thing that is still annoying me is the simple fact that they got rid of co-op progression. So I am making absolutely no progression, which is weird because it was there in the first game.
Yeah, that's
the only
really
thing
annoying.
I had to do was beat the first level so I could do co-op, and then we had to individually beat the last level to beat the game.
Right.
And this one, like, when I jumped back into my regular game when we were trying to mess around with the online, I don't have any of like the Night Runner equipment that I have in his game. You do keep your weapons and your abilities that you've unlocked, but I'm not going to replay this whole game again just so I can beat it. So once we get to the point where it kicks me out because we're on the final level, I'll just listen to what Angel Eye has to say about the end of the game and pass it on.
Watch it on
guys.
YouTube and you're good.
Yeah, because I'm not going to replay this game by myself. And I'll replay it with other people. Like, if people need help or anything, yeah, I'll jump in. But for my own progression, no,
you're good.
It's not worth it to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. We already talked about Monster Hunt Rise. So my last game that I have to talk about is one that I've been waiting for almost a year for, and that is Anno Mutationem.
Yes.
I pre-ordered the physical edition for this through Limited Run Games at the end of March last year, and it finally showed up at the beginning of this week. Limited Run Games is going through some weird changes right now.
Well, that's kind of always their thing too. Of like, we take all pre-orders until they're done, and then we start printing it, and then like doing all that stuff. So that's their usual deal.
The problem was that this was only, even with COVID, this was only projected to be 6 months out.
Okay.
So, and there was absolutely no communication whatsoever. Like, none of us got any updates. Like, even with this, I didn't get a shipping notification. It just showed up.
Ta-da! What a surprise.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, Limited Run Games aside, this game, now that I'm far enough in, I remember why I really wanted to play this game. This was originally supposed to be an SCP game, a Secure, Contain, Protect, based off of the Foundation. Yes, it originally started out that way, and midway through they changed it, only because they were worried about the legalese. SCP is open source legal-wise, so it falls under that whole section of free use and all that stuff. However, they were just worried that they were getting maybe a little too far along against the gray lines of that everybody usage. So they changed it up. There are still things in here. There is something that I saw towards the beginning of the game where I'm like, that looks like this. And then there is something that I saw halfway through the game where I'm like, that is definitely this. And then that's when I remembered about all the SCP stuff that they have in here.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So it is not a horror game or anything like that, but it is kind of like a light Metroidvania game.
Like cyberpunk styled.
Yeah, it's definitely cyberpunk style with like the whole futuristic stuff, and everyone has neon and all that fun crap.
And I feel like if people have heard of this game, they've probably seen GIFs or like video clips of it where it's a 2D side-scrolling game, but your character can move towards or further from the camera, kind of on a like the Z plane. And most games don't do that because it looks weird, but they figured out a way in this game to make it look really cool. And I really recommend people watching some trailers or seeing some GIFs of it, because that's the thing that sold me, is like, oh, you managed to make this thing look really neat.
Well, that and everything is pixelated in this game, and they managed, even when they zoom in, they've still managed to make the pixelation look really good. So you can tell they've got a lot of good detail from just using square blocks, and it looks really nice, and it kind of adds to that cyberpunk feel to it. Forgot what the heck I was going to say now. Oh, Metroidvania Light, because there are some areas where, like when you go into the cities, you're just exploring and talking to people. It's just like a hub. You're not fighting or anything. And even when you go into new areas that you can fight, there are still areas within there that you're not. So what they do is you just have like these exploration areas where you can't jump, you can't do any of your attacks, and you don't have your health bar up. And as soon as you see your health bar pop up, that's how you know you're in an area that's going to have encounters.
Oh, okay.
So there are long periods where you're not actually depending on how you play the game, you're not actually fighting anything. You're just running along doing like side quest, or you're checking up on things. Yeah, you're reading into things, or you're trying to explore stuff or look into the lore. And I think a lot of that is really neat how they have it, where you've got a lot of this downtime that you can choose to have, or you can just go straight in and start doing all the action sequences that you want until you hit a story point. The story so far has been really cool, where you are playing as Anne, who, as far as you know, just can randomly pass out and blacks out, but she causes, stop me if you hear this, a lot of destruction when that happens.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So that has not been explained yet, but there is this higher level shadowy group that you, every once in a while, you'll get a snippet of, where it's like, hey, C is doing this, this, and this. And while they're talking, there's like this portal that looks like there's a portal into space, and there's things hopping from one portal to another portal in this dude's office. And you're like, what is that? And no one is drawing attention to this thing happening in the background. It's just you, the player, being like, no, that thing back there, what is it
that
doing?
Weird thing,
what is it?
The space thing.
The foundation type thing that this is supposed to represent, the shady underbelly of whatever this thing is so far, is really cool, because you're getting kind of this weird like Saturday morning snippet of, oh, this is what the evil corporation's kind of doing in the background while you're off investigating whatever. A lot of the fighting in this is your normal style. I've got like double jump, and I can do air dashes and stuff like that. You can choose different weapons. There's a sword, like a regular light sword that you get. I have like these twin blades that I use that can turn into like a double-edged staff kind of looking thing, which is really sweet. I've got this giant great sword that just says Matt on it. Don't know why. I took it from a giant mech.
That's cool.
And she has a gun that you can use, and there's also a shield that you can use for blocking. I find that just dodging works a lot. You have some iframes with that. You can dodge through enemies and their attacks as well. So I find just attacking something and then just dodging past them and attacking their back works pretty well in this game. You can also do the nice Jedi deflecting, where if somebody shoots something at you and you swing, you'll deflect it somewhere. You're not going to deflect it directly back at them, but yeah. So I'm sitting there swirling around and jumping around and knocking all this stuff around, and it's been a blast. I've been enjoying it.
That's cool.
What else? The only complaint that I have with it so far is just that you can't save anywhere.
Okay.
I'm moving that's around too much. There are certain save points that you have to go to. There's usually computers and stuff. There's usually one in one of the hub towns that you can go to. And then you'll get them throughout whatever dungeon that you're in. But there's kind of like maybe 20, 30 minutes, depending on what area you're in, where you're in between save points. So you kind of have to wrap it up before you can stop playing.
Right, before you get to the next typewriter.
Yeah, which... Yeah. Kind of is annoying, but not bad. I don't feel like there have been any massive chunks where I'm like, all right, I want to stop playing. Where's my save point? But yeah, I'm at a point where it's super spoilery, and I don't want to talk about any of it in case anyone else does pick this up, because I think the story is cool, and remembering that it has that extra layer of SCP stuff in it has kind of been really sweet.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Me anyway. So I'm really enjoying the dumb stuff in here that I've come across. But I would say if you've never heard of this game, it does go on sale regularly. I'm playing it on PS5 right now, and I think it's only on PS5 and Steam. I don't know if it's on any of the other consoles.
I don't remember. I'll look up.
What's the name?
I'll look it up.
But yeah, so it's
Mutationem.
Yeah.
It's also on Switch.
Is it on the Switch? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you can play it on there too.
But
yeah, it just feels good to play. It's one of those things where I can just zone out and play it, and then you just fight this rhino-looking boss thing and continue on with your day.
Nice. Yeah, it's on PS4, PS5, Switch, Steam, and Epic Game Store.
All right, cool. Yeah, so I would I would recommend it. I'm having a blast with it, which
Yeah.
is why I don't want to talk about it a whole lot, because I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Right.
It is a fun game, especially since I've waited this long. It's been a fun game to just completely go black out on, and then pop it in and be like, okay, yep, no, I've got this Tron car that can fly, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm just running around, messing things up, and there's just a lot of cool things happening right now. So,
Nice.
Oh, and the bartending. They got a bartending mini game.
Yeah, let's go.
It's so stupid.
Love it.
So yeah, that's all I've been playing this week.
I have played a whole bunch more Powerwash Simulator. I am, I think, like 6 or 7 trophies away from getting the platinum here. So I'm almost done with the campaign as it is. I found the first level I truly disliked, which is the Ferris wheel one. Thankfully, the challenge for that wasn't that bad for the trophy, but I feel like most of the levels have been pretty solid so far. But the Ferris wheel one was a combination of the level being really tall because you have to clean all of the Ferris wheel, and it being a little bit fiddly because essentially when you get there, the Ferris wheel is turning and there's just a bit like a big red button to stop it. So essentially you're kind of stopping it and then cleaning a whole bunch of stuff and then starting it back up and stopping it as it passes by and then cleaning all that stuff up. And that would be fine if there weren't like these really thin, tiny pieces all over the place.
Was there like a speck of a crossbeam that you missed?
Yeah, and it's like all these gears and like these connecting parts, and it just a real pain. So like I've enjoyed all of them except for that one. Now I'm cleaning like a subway station. That one's been pretty good. Because I don't. There have been a couple levels like you have to clean this essentially like a church, and that one's really tall, but you're only cleaning the outside of it. So that's okay. I can get up on my scaffolding. I can clean all of that stuff. And that stuff was a lot less fiddly. The final level of the Lara Croft DLC was kind of big and a little bit fiddly, but I kind of liked that there were a bunch of references to the games, so that kind of kept me propelling. But that's the only level I actively have kind of not really enjoyed.
I do like how it flashes for you when you've cleaned a section.
Yeah, and it makes a cool like cha-ching noise, like because you get paid every time. So that makes it worth a lot. But yeah, the thing I like about it is the game is super clear about everything that you need to do. Like it will give you the upper left-hand corner. There's a small white bar that shows you how dirty the piece you're cleaning is. When you deplete that bar, that's when it cleans. And thankfully you don't have to get like every little speck and atom of dirt. As long as you get like 99% of it, it will just consider it clean, which is great because some of these really big pieces, like the subway I'm cleaning right now, it's kind of the entire length of each one of the 3 tracks on each side is a piece, and I'm cleaning 99% of that. But if I had to go and get like I'm ducking down and I'm looking and like cleaning
in between the grout and
yeah, like if I had to do every little speck of that, this game would be pretty bad. But I feel like it's pretty nice that it just the whole thing about the game is it's satisfying. Like it is satisfying to clean every little piece of this. It's satisfying to hear the noise of the water. It's really satisfying to hear that cha-ching noise when you get paid. Like all of it is really satisfying. All of it's really relaxing. So if they were kind of going too hard on that stuff, I feel like it would kind of defeat the purpose of the game. And I'm glad they kind of get what game they made, which I really appreciate. So yeah, Powerwash Simulator is still great. I mean, for $25, I've gotten a lot of gameplay out of it already.
Hours of entertainment.
Yeah, and I haven't even... I think like 75% of the way through the kind of career mode. They do have... once you finish the level, you unlock it for free play, so you can just kind of do whatever you want. There's also challenge mode that I haven't done yet. I may have to do a bunch of levels of those for trophies. And so each level has 2 challenges. One is time-based, so clean the entire thing in X time. And then the other one is leaders-based. So basically clean the thing in X amount of liters of water. So I'm curious to see what those are. I'll probably do the liters one as opposed to the time one, because I tend to take my time on these, and rushing through them is probably not going to be the thing I will enjoy. And then, like, the one I'm kind of not looking forward to, but I've already looked up some tips on it, is the trophy for it's clean 98% of a level without completing an individual piece. So you have to get 98% on the percentage bar without having any piece flash blue. So that one sounds like it's going to take a couple of tries of that very first level to get that to pop. But that's kind of the thing that I like about this game, and I'm glad I'm trophy hunting at the beginning, because some of this game isn't hard by default. Like, you're painting essentially just with water, but some of the trophies are genuinely pretty challenging, and if I wasn't going for them, I think I'd still be having fun, but I like that extra little wrinkle of, here's a monster truck and you have to clean all of the tires first, so you're kind of like precision spraying underneath this monster truck and kind of dipping and ducking around to get everything but not spray anything else. Like, it's pretty fun to have those restrictions on it. And it's kid friendly, which means it's the thing I've been playing the most, because nobody dies in Powerwash Simulator. I mean, I haven't gotten to the ending, but you haven't
gotten to the Hitman level where you have to submerge a guy's head in the power washer.
Yeah. Well, and there's some stuff, like some connective tissue between these levels that's kind of surprising. You get text messages all the time as you're cleaning levels.
Yep.
Usually from the people that have hired you to clean that level. And then there's some strife in the town between all of them and the mayor. And the mayor lives in this, like, very palatial estate that one of the levels, somebody egged his house with, like, a lot of eggs, but he won't let you on the property because nobody needs to be on the mayor's property. So you have to, like, use the extended, like, the super long extension nozzle to, like, spray through his gate to spray down his house. And it's like, you suck, man. What are you doing? Come on. Like, it's not hard because it's Powerwash Simulator, but it's pretty. This game is great. I think it's still on Game Pass, I believe.
It is. No plebeians on his property, please.
That's right. I only paid $25 for it when it was brand new, and the Lara Croft DLC is available seemingly on all platforms from what I've seen, and that's free. And it looks like the Final Fantasy VII DLC, when that comes out, there's no date on that. That'll be free too. And the Lara Croft DLC was 5 pretty big levels. One of the levels, of course, was just like a boat and a Jeep because it's Powerwash Simulator. But it's great. I really like it. They made exactly the game they should have made out of this thing, and I really appreciate it.
So I want to start playing this just to prep for the Final Fantasy one, because I want to hope against hope that we get that bloody mess of a hallway that we have to clean.
Oh my god, that'd be so great! Yeah, I'm very curious to see what they're gonna do there. So, next game,
you gotta go in and clean up the macro reactors.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I'd be down for that too.
Yeah,
you got a timer because the bomb's about to go off.
Yeah, that's right.
Before you get killed by radiation, dude.
That'd be great. I love it. I forgot to talk about this last week, but I have played a little bit of Potion Craft. This is that alchemy game that Nimp, you were talking about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of feelings about this game. It's really good, and it's really good for all of the reasons that Nimp, you were talking about a couple weeks ago. My biggest frustration so far in the early game has been, as expected, I really like navigating that screen where you're making the potions and you're kind of directing the kind of wavy path that your potion is going towards. And I like discovering new areas, like you're lifting essentially the Fog of War on it, like we talked. But the thing that really frustrates me, once you get a couple of days in, there will be a bunch of people that are like, hey man, I need to do a bunch of lock picking. Can you give me a potion that will help me with that? And I'm like, an agility potion? And they're like, ugh, excuse me, no. And it's like, okay, let me try and make another one. And I'm like, how about this potion of strength? And they're like, oh God, no, stupid. And then they like leave and your reputation goes down. It's like, what? Yep. What do you?
Obviously, he was looking for a potion of dexterity, Boston.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I kind of,
and you don't know where it is on that map.
Yeah, like
at
I kind
all.
of get what he's going for. He obviously doesn't need like a potion of light or frost or fire or anything like that. But like I can't find it on the map, and I don't have enough materials to continue to explore super far out. Because the nice thing is you can look on the map before you make stuff. Like you can just kind of scroll around the map, and you can thankfully, like you said, you can save the recipes. So you can say like, oh, he needs a minor healing potion because he's like, oh, I cut my finger a little bit, but it's not going to kill me. Do you have anything?
Yeah.
So you can just like from the menu, you can just make a minor healing potion and then just call that a day. And that's a huge help. But I was probably playing it on the wrong day where I was like way too frustrated to play this game. And I was like, well, then get out of my store. What do you want? I don't even know what you want. Get out of here. So that was kind of frustrating, but I've been largely enjoying it. It plays pretty okay on Xbox, but man, I wish I had a mouse for this game because it would just go so much faster. So
plug a mouse then.
I was gonna say, does the Xbox support mouse and keyboard?
It does, but I don't know.
PlayStation
I don't know
does.
if this game does. I would have to look,
Okay.
but it's there's always those games where they made it with a keyboard and mouse in mind, and it plays well. And this one is fine, but it's very much like I could probably be going a lot faster in this if I could just use a mouse, which is fine. It's not going to hurt anything, but it is on Game Pass.
Just drag and drop instead of drag and drop.
Yeah, and like it works okay, but this is on Game Pass. It's pretty fun. I've only played, I don't know, maybe an hour or two. Another game that is very kid friendly, which I appreciate, but I've been playing too much Despot's game this week, so I haven't really gotten back to this. Two more games here real quick for me. I did play a little bit more Forspoken. I haven't moved the story along because they gave me too much to do in the open world, and I've just been doing that because I like free running in the open world in this game. I managed to upgrade my purple magic a whole bunch. I don't know why they specifically call out purple magic. I'm assuming we get other colors later. I have no idea. But I upgraded that a whole bunch, so I went back to... It did very much like the Final Fantasy XII thing where you walk out in the first area and there's a T-Rex and it just destroys you in one shot. They did that with like this mutated kind of gross rotting bear thing. They just call it a mutant on the map. So it destroyed me first time I ran through. I'm like, I'm doing pretty good damage. I've already done like 200 damage to this thing. And it's taken like 1% of its health bar away. So now that I've upgraded my purple magic a bunch more, I went back to fight that thing and I was doing like 50 points of damage every time and did some good work against that boss. So that felt pretty good to do. But I'm just kind of wander around the open world, running around, running up some cliffs, doing some side quests and stuff, and Forspoken is just a lot of fun. I really need to get back into the story though, and kind of keep that thing moving, because my concern is that I will just spend my entire time in the open world, and then once I get back to the story, I'm like, ugh, whatever, and then never finish it. But I
don't need to get 12 more grand berries for this quest.
That's right. That's right. So I'm still enjoying it. I've had some, if you listen to the Outcast, we've had some pretty serious work done on our house. Unfortunately, I had like some house related emergencies. So there's been like teams of people in my house, and that hasn't been conducive to playing a lot of this stuff. So I haven't spent a ton of time doing that. But Forspoken's still good. Still enjoying it. 2 thumbs up. And last game here, real quick, we finished Remnant from the Ashes. So if you haven't been listening lately, longtime community member and friend Bill Sifford and the Hannah and I have been playing this for the last couple of months, I guess, because we only get to play like maybe 2 hours a week or so. And we finished it this week. We finished the horribly lost in the like final jungle area. And once we did that, we're like, boy, this seems an awful lot like the end of the game. So let's just kind of push through here. And we got through that final area, which is actually really pretty cool. And we fought the final boss, which was really very cool and probably the most JRPG boss in a non-JRPG that I have seen in a really long time.
And it looks super cool, the concept behind it.
It looks super cool, and the mechanics behind the fight were actually really neat. I'm not going to spoil it, because I think more people should play this game, even just like go through the main story and just kind of knock it out in like 10 hours or so. But it was kind of neat where it's one of those things where you're fighting a boss and you're like, we're doing no damage to it. I'm not entirely sure what to do. And then kind of run, you're discovering the mechanic, and then kind of like, oh, okay, that's the mechanic. All right, let's see how we can optimize this. And then once you do that, you're like, that's only half of the mechanic. Here's the other half of the mechanic where you can do a crazy amount of damage once you kind of figure the whole thing out. And once that all came together, that was a lot of fun. That was Remnant from the Ashes is a really cool game. I think if you can find like one or two other people to play it with, I think that made a lot of the difference for us. And you just like us, you probably own it for free on Epic Game Store from some point. I think
Epic, PlayStation had it on Games for Gold a couple months back.
Yep, it's been on a whole bunch of stuff, and I was really happy with the length of it too, because I think we probably played 10-12 hours with the three of us, and we didn't. I'm more than sure we didn't do 100% of everything in this game, because every time you start the game, you only fight like half of the bosses that are available, just because of how the game generates itself. So I'm sure we could go back through and like play the campaign again, but I don't think we're gonna do that. I think we'll probably check out the survival mode DLC, because that seems pretty cool. But I think after that we're probably gonna move on to something else and check out some other.
One of my favorite things about this game is that it's not a 40 to 80 hour game like all the other Souls games, which is why I'm dragging my feet playing the rest of them right now again.
Yeah, and it feels very much like kind of like a Diablo. Like once you finish the game, you can either go into the harder difficulties of the campaign, although I'm not entirely sure why you would want to do that other than kind of just having it be more difficult. Or you can do adventure mode, where you're kind of going in and you're challenging individual things in the game and kind of focusing on side quests and stuff like that. But
I think the difficulty also changes your drop table.
It seemed like it did a little bit, but not like I was a little bummed, because I was hoping it would be like Diablo 3, where it's like, this difficulty will get you X number % higher drops and Y better quality, and then that kind of steps up as you go through, and it didn't really call that out specifically, and that's okay. I mean, I don't think we need to, especially with Diablo 4 coming on the horizon, I don't think we really need to like grind the hell out of this game of all of them. So, yeah. Remnant from the Ashes, super cool. If you're looking for like a shooting Dark Souls that is 10-12 hours and the normal difficulty, except for those bug bosses, most of the time we were one-shotting or two-shotting bosses. So like it's not super difficult. There's a bunch of cool puzzles, a bunch of fun stuff. It's like a Dark Souls. Everybody's weird. Everybody's always like, "Go get me the heart." He 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 he. You know, it's just like, man, why'd you have to do the creepy Dark Souls laugh? Like now I don't trust anything you're gonna say. Where it's like, yes, follow me. It's like, come on,
take the shortcut. Nothing bad will happen.
That's right. It's like, of course it will. It's always, if something bad's always gonna happen. So yeah, Remnant from the Ashes, super cool. I'm sure it's cool single player. I don't think I'll check it out single player, because I feel like I've kind of gotten my enjoyment out of it. But if you got a bunch of friends to play it with, you knock it out pretty quick. That's all I'm playing this week. Let's take a break.
Yep.
Okay, let's. There's a news story. Oh yeah, God, we got so much stuff here. Okay.
Yeah, I added the question into the chat too.
Yeah, we're Angel Eye. We're probably not going to have time for that this week, but I'll carry it over to next week's show notes. So we'll answer it. But thank you for asking that. Appreciate that. All right, are you guys ready to hit the second segment?
Yep.
Yes.
Just take a big glug of your buffalo wing chicken sauce you got there.
Never again.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of February 13th, 2023. Blanc comes out for Switch and PC. Nintendo has been pushing this on their directs for probably a year or so. This is the deer and fox adventure, kind of sketchy black and white animal adventure thing where it's one of those things where you look at it and you're like, yeah, one of these things is going to die in the end, right? Like that's where we're heading to.
Which one of you is 2 days away from retirement?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's Blanc. I guess if you want to check that out. Journey to the Savage Planet gets native current gen upgrades on PS5 and Series consoles. That game came and went. I heard virtually nothing about that game. It seems fine, but probably not anything I'll ever check out.
Sure.
Souls of Chronos comes out on PS5, Switch, and PC. No, I didn't forget a platform there. For some reason, a very anime game in Japan is not shipping on the PS4. I don't know why. Apparently, you don't want to meet like nearly 100 million users, but that's okay.
It's also not on the Xbox, but that's not a surprise.
Yeah, that's almost a given. This game looks kind of neat. It looks very different. It's this kind of like chibi, very anime, dungeon crawling, isometric thing. I'm going to keep kind of a half an eye on this as reviews come out, because this seems like it could be kind of an interesting little thing. Tomb Raider Reloaded comes out on iOS and Android. This is a top-down shooter Tomb Raider roguelike, which...
So glad I don't have an iOS phone.
It's on Android too,
on
baby.
Android.
Woo!
Damn it.
Get it. I don't know. This looks kind of interesting. I would recommend maybe watching a gameplay trailer of this, because even from the video, it looks a little stiff. Which
do we want to pencil this in for a 2-week period at the end of the year?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll put it in the maybe column for We Roguelike It. Next game here, Wanted Dead, which is just a really great title. Comes out PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series consoles, and PC. This is a really stylish third-person hack and slash game, which looks really cool. The studio that worked on a bunch of Naruto games and Valkyrie Elysium that just came out recently. So they've got some cool stuff under their belt. I would recommend checking out some gameplay of that. It looks like it's kind of a cool... some previews I've seen mention that it's also kind of like a cheesy, tongue-in-cheek B-movie kind of styled. Like it knows it's a little bit cheesy and over the top and leans into it, and I kind of appreciate that.
The combat looks very John Wickish, and it also has mini games for eating and karaoke and crane games, and a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up section.
It's got a lot in there. Like there's some.
It looks like a Yakuza wannabe, and I'm fine with that. There should be more of those.
It looks pretty neat. So, Wanted Dead looks like maybe kind of a cool B game coming out this year. Returnal comes out on PC. Reminder that this comes with the DLC too. So the DLC they put out, it was really free, I think, technically. Comes with a co-op mode for the campaign, and then the Tower of Sisyphus, which is essentially like a challenge kind of horde mode thing of just see how far up you can get on the tower. I haven't played that because that sounds incredibly difficult. But if you didn't have a PS5 and you want to play Returnal, hey, it's really good. And it has DualSense support, so you get all the cool like little raindrop effects in the controller and whatnot, and like the half-click resistance stuff that I thought was actually really cool in the game. Returnal's great. Please play Returnal. It's really good. Shadow Warrior 3 gets a current gen upgrade on PS5 and Series X. It's a game I forgot was already out. So that's where I'm at right now. That's another game I heard genuinely nothing about. That game seemed to have come and gone. No.
I think I own it.
The thing is,
I might have it from Epic for free or something like that.
The thing is, I don't even know, like, the big quote unquote controversy from the second one is they kind of turned it into a loot based game, like a kind of a grindy, replayed loot quality sort of thing, and I think they pulled that back on the third one. So I don't know. Weird. Next game here, Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line comes out on PS4 and Switch. Wanted to mention, when I said there, like last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever, when I said there was 327 songs in the game, I was wrong about that. There are 385 songs in the game by default. There are 27 songs in the premium version, and then all the DLC together makes it 508 songs.
All the songs.
What are they doing to me? That's so good. But yes, I've bought the big dumb edition that comes with all the season passes and stuff. So every couple of weeks there'll be a brand new batch of songs for me to torture myself with. I'm so.
Are we back in Rock Band stage again?
I mean, for me, yeah. I mean, I was playing it earlier today, and I was getting like the not the Tetris effect, but whatever, the Rock Band, the waterfall effect.
The flow.
No, the waterfall effect where you're like look away and the
where you see it moving.
Yeah, the screen is still moving.
Wait,
so
did I tell you guys I get that on actual treadmills?
Oh no.
Really?
Just on a regular old treadmill.
That's horrible.
I will 100% get the waterfall effect.
Oh man.
My gym has treadmills upstairs. Let me tell you, going down those stairs was not fun.
Jeez. Oh, that's horrible. Next up is Tales of Symphonia Remastered. Comes out PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. In their infinite wisdom, they are remastering Tales of Symphonia, a game that was 60 frames on whatever, GameCube or whatever
GameCube.
it was. It's now 30 frames, which is dumb.
Yep.
So I don't expect them to fix it, because that's not the thing they do. Famously, Durante fixed whatever version of the Tales game that came out on PC and was 30 frames. He's like, man, I'm getting in there and modding 60 frames into this, and that kind of started his whole thing. It's a real bummer. I wanted to play this game because I never played Symphonia, and apparently it's really good, but I'm not gonna play that. So. Sorry,
I see you're framist now. That's good to know.
100%. Give me that 120 frames.
Specifically for this game, it is a very noticeable difference, and it messes with some of the systems since they downed it too.
And if the game originally came out and was 30 and the remaster was 30, totally fine with that. And if it came out at 30 and the remaster 60, great. But to step it down like that, like, come on, man.
The fact that it came out, what are we for Nintendo, 4 generations ago?
Probably like 20 years
frames?
by this point. Yeah. Like, come on, guys. Wild Hearts comes out on PS5, Series, consoles, and PC. This is Koei Tecmo's game that I honestly know...
It's like Monster Hunter?
Yeah, sort of. I know
Monster Hunter with building.
I know very little about this game, and like, even watching the trailers, I feel like I know even less, but everybody's super pumped about this game. So it seems like it's kind of Monster Hunter, Dark Souls-esque, maybe. Someone on another show you listen to is probably super pumped about it. So you'll check them out after you're done listening to us. Labyrinth of Galeria, the Moon Society comes out PS4, PS5, Switch, and PC. 3 guesses on what kind of game this is, and the first 2 don't count. This is a sequel to Labyrinth of Refrain, which has some okay reviews. But if you don't know what these 2 games are, these are classic first-person dungeon crawlers. Where you have like a party of 10 people, you're going tile by tile, first person through the dungeon, but it's made by the Disgaea team. It's not as hardcore as Disgaea is. It doesn't get to those levels, but if you're it's kind of a high quality that you'd expect from that team. Apparently,
go ahead.
Labyrinth of Refrain was reviewed pretty well, but I think some people were like, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that could change. Previews or reviews for this that have come out have rated it very highly. Apparently, they fixed all of that stuff, made it look and play even better, and apparently this game is long, so you're getting a bang for your buck here. So
it's my type of game, unfortunately.
Yeah, I haven't played a first-person dungeon crawler in a while, but this looks real good.
I have not heard yet if this is as difficult as normal first-person dungeon crawlers are, because usually they get to a point where they just start kicking you in the teeth, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it.
What's up?
I did see a cat in the party in the trailer. Just
so
you know.
Undoubtedly, yeah. There's
anime cats all the way, man.
Yeah, probably a penguin at some point, maybe a flamingo or something.
Yeah,
if they do what
a Brinny or something.
Well, I was gonna say
exactly.
If they do what they did with a couple of the other ones, you may end up being able to get the skins for like Laharl and Etna and Flan at some point.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. And last game here, Dust and Neon comes out on PC and Switch. This is a top-down cover-based Western roguelike that kind of matches up kind of old Western stuff and some kind of cyberpunky things. This looks really interesting.
I'm looking at the trailer, and oh boy, does that thing have some style to it.
Really does, and it looks like it plays pretty snappily. So I'm glad I found this, because Dust and Neon seems like it's kind of a pretty neat thing here. So, I don't know. Cool. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. All right, let's talk about news stories here. We have a bunch of big ones. First one here is the latest Nintendo Direct happened here recently. I'm just going to put the footage here running in the background, because why not? They showed off Pikmin 4 to open here. It looks like Pikmin. I think that's kind of the positive, and I don't think anyone really hates Pikmin, so I guess that there's probably no negative there. But
seems pretty non-offensive.
Yeah, it just seems like Pikmin. There's a bunch of new types of Pikmin here. There's like a big dog you have wandering around with you, and it kind of seems like more of the same, which is great. So more cool Pikmin stuff. Next up
you just need to find the grounded characters in there.
That's right. That's right. Next up is Xenoblade Chronicles 3 DLC. They announced a bunch of new characters. They announced a kind of roguelike mode, which is the Archsage's Gauntlet, which is just a really great name for Xenoblade DLC. And then at the end, they teased some story-based DLC with the two main characters from the very first Xenoblade game. So, like Ryan and whatever, the Monado, whatever that guy's name is.
Shulk and...
Shulk. How could I forget Shulk? How dare I?
Sorry, Shulk? Is there a character called Cheese as well?
Man,
no.
Maybe. Sega announced a new Samba de Amigo game. Shockingly,
Sega announced a Sega game.
Yeah, like my question was like,
I mean, this is Switch only, right? It's never come to anything else.
It's absolutely never. I mean, it might come out to some VR stuff potentially, because then you have the multiple controllers.
That is true.
But, my initial question was like, hey man, how are you going to play this? And then they show someone with the Joy-Cons in their hands, and I was like, oh, of course, duh. The hell was I thinking?
I didn't even know. I saw it here and I was like, oh no, Samba de Amigo. Well, that's a Joy-Con game, clearly.
Right. Yeah.
It's the first thing I jumped to.
Wild that they're announcing a new one of those. Next game here is Fashion Dreamer. I'm trying to get the name here right. This is essentially a spiritual successor to Styles Savvy, but this is more multiplayer focused, so you're kind of talking to people in the environment and sharing your outfits and sharing pieces of clothes and stuff, and kind of gathering outfits and showing them off to strangers on the internet. So, it's pretty cool. My kid was very interested in this as soon as it was like, oh, fashion? Oh, hello.
My daughter might really like this. She plays a lot of like the tablet games where she dresses up like characters and poses them and stuff like that. So
yeah, and the nice thing,
I had no clue what this was. I'd never heard of it before.
Yeah, Style Savvy was really big on the DS, 3DS, something like that. And it seemed like it was largely kind of the same thing. I like that the only interactions you can have with other people online is they're just essentially like copies of other players' characters, and you essentially like or high five them, and that's really it. So
DS and Wii U.
Oh, okay, yeah. So those that Style Savvy was huge. So it's nice to see them doing a new one here. Dead Cells Castlevania DLC is coming out. It looks really great. They announced something like 51 songs from the Castlevania games in this DLC. They have you fighting death with the scythes and everything, of course. Like, Dracula throws the goblet. Yeah, like they've got all the hallmarks here. So it looks super cool. I'm more than happy to go back to Dead Cells because that game is great, and I haven't played it in like 10 updates or something. They update this thing all the time, and they're adding a whole bunch of stuff. So
hey, we will like it. I mean, you have a show.
Well, I mean, we already played
DLC
Dead Cells.
edition.
Yeah, we already played Dead Cells.
DLC.
Yeah. Go back to it. Yeah. Tron Identity got announced as a console first on Switch in April. So it seems like it will be coming out on PC at some point, but the first console that's going to get it is Switch in April. This still looks really great. If anyone hasn't seen this, this is a Tron visual novel where you're a detective program going to a server that's having problems. And I think that's super cool.
It looks cool, but give me another full-size game, please.
Well, I mean, I don't think we know all about this game. I feel like that's kind of all we know, and they have a lot of it under wraps, so I don't think we even know how big it is.
Is your name Detective McAfee?
Look, no one wants to be associated with John McAfee anymore. That dude's got some problems. Next game here, Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, the Game Boy Advance hit game, a Wii hit game maybe, the one where you die in the intro and you're a ghost detective that's taking over stuff in the environment. This game people really love, and I know I really love this game, and I just have not played it, so I will have to check this out. This is also coming out to PS4 and Xbox One at the same time, so it's not just Switch. And I need to check this out. People seem to really love this game. I'm excited to play it. Level 5 has a brand new game called Deca Police, which is like a future cyber JRPG where you're a detective kid. It looks really good. Oh man,
God, that looks so stupid just now. Oh my god. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. This looks.
You opened up that he was a kid as soon as they showed it because that looked like some. Yeah. God.
Yeah. This game looks really cool. It's nice to see Level 5 kind of doing more stuff again after the crash and burn that Yokai Watch took. Which is very funny. A lot of people on Twitter are like, "Hey man, whatever happened to Yokai Watch?" And it's like they killed it. They messed it up and they killed it. That's what happened. So no more of those. So Deca Police looks pretty cool. I think that's kind of a neat looking different thing for Level 5 to be making. So I'm curious to see where this eventually turns into.
Those nice. Handcuffs look pretty sweet.
Yeah, a lot of this game looks pretty cool. It's got a cool style. So they showed off some gameplay of Bayonetta Origins, Cereza, and the Lost Demon. Whew, there it is. Comes out March 17th. This game looks really cool. It has that kind of watercolor painted style. I think from a gameplay perspective, it's not necessarily showing off super well in trailers because it seems a lot of like, hey, this demon you're with is going to get new powers, and oh, now it can grappling hook, and now it can go, it now has wind powers, and now you're riding stuff across a lake. So from a gameplay perspective, maybe it's not necessarily the most interesting, but boy, does it look super cool. So I've never been the biggest Bayonetta fan, so I'm not entirely sure. Seems like a prequel, I believe, but
it is.
Yeah, it's a cool thing. I'm curious to see how it reviews once it comes out. Showed off some Splatoon 3. Boy, we are not the ones to understand Splatoon stuff, but it looks like they're starting their DLC waves, which is what Nintendo calls them. Seems like they're focusing.
Humans died. And the
right,
mollusks took
post-apocalyptic.
over.
Yeah. It seems like they're doing a lot of Splatoon 1 stuff from like the hub area of Splatoon 1, which seems what I can understand from some of this trailer. So that still looks cool. That still looks neat. Splatoon's a cool thing. I like that. They showed off Disney Illusion Island, which is heavily styled after the most recent Mickey Mouse cartoon, which is one of the funniest things on TV at the moment. If you guys haven't seen any of it, it's genuinely really great. So this is like a kind of a four...
Nope.
It's a
I'm out.
character kind of 2D platformy thing. Each character has their own skills, and it's got multiplayer and yada yada. You kind of know where these games
I am
go.
1,000% out because I and you two grew up in the era of Disney platformers. So, nope.
Yeah, I this looks kind of cool. That's my main question too. Of like, I'm assuming it's not going to be a difficult game, but who knows with those sort of platformers? Are
we getting Cuphead now, or?
Yeah, exactly. So that's cool. I'm glad that they're doing more stuff with the Mickey Mouse cartoon because not enough people have watched it, and it is really great. It's one of the funniest things I've seen. They show off some Fire Emblem Engage DLC for their passes here. They're showing a bunch of emblems, which is essentially like recruitable characters from other games. Crom and Robin, Camilla, all the hits. You know, all the people you want in the game. And then they're showing off that Wave 4 is going to have some story DLC. So they're going to be doing what seems to be some like side story stuff in the game. So people seem to really love that game. I haven't checked it out. Oh gosh, what do we have here next? Harmony: The Fall of Reverie. This is Don't Nod's new game. Soundtrack by Lena Raine of Celeste, by the by, so you know it's gonna be good. This game has a really cool style. It's looks like kind of their standard adventure game, decision-based kind of visual novel-y thing. I'm really excited about this because Don't Nod makes cool stuff, and everything is kind of different in general. So whatever they're gonna make, I'm probably gonna check out, because if it's not Life is Strange, it's a vampire hack and slash third-person blood-sucking game, and now they're just making this cool thing. So, yay, Don't Nod. Octopath Traveler 2. They showed off a little bit of this. There's a demo out of this now. People are really enjoying this, especially people like me that did not like the first one. They're saying that this second one has resolved some issues that the first one had.
Didn't a lot of people really love the demo for the first one though, and then we got to the main game and then stopped?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why, you know, keep an eye out for this one, but you know, keep in mind that maybe they haven't smoothed over all of the issues. Next up, they're doing a remaster of We Love Katamari. We Love Katamari Reroll plus Royal Revelry, which is you get to play as the king of all cosmos when he's a kid. Which,
what's up with Reverie this year?
I don't know, man. It's a good word at the very least. Sea of Stars got a demo announcement as well. This is that pixel 16-bit JRPG that's been out ever. I think I backed this on Kickstarter a couple of years ago. Demo's out now. That'll carry over to full game. Full game comes out August 29th. This looks super cool. So I'm excited for this to come out.
They just drifted that boat.
I know.
They did.
Isn't that cool? Shock of all shocks, an Etrian Odyssey collection is coming out on the Switch, which is not a thing I thought would ever happen because they
said it couldn't be done.
Yeah, it's very much a DS game. So I'm speaking of first-person dungeon crawlers, Etrian Odyssey 1, 2, and 3 are going to be coming out on Switch. They have kind of a cool mode where the left half of the screen is the dungeon and the right half of the screen is the map. So you can kind of draw the map while you're exploring, kind of like how you would do on the DS versions. Really curious to see how they're going to make this one work on the Switch. I think if they can nail it, that makes me feel really good about the kind of future of the franchise. They went to great lengths to say that they've redrawn all of the character art. So it looks like all of the character classes and a whole bunch of stuff got redrawn, which is great because those were pretty early DS games. And they put a bunch of extra difficulty options in there too. So.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what we needed.
Well, one of them is called Picnic, which makes the game super easy.
Oh, okay.
Which the other one is called.
I figured they were going. Yeah, I figured they were going in the opposite direction.
Yeah, the other one's called.
How do you
Expert.
feel about FOEs? What if all of them were FOEs?
Oh, God. Heaven help us. So that comes out June 1st. You can buy each one of them separately digitally, but they're doing a 3-pack digitally and I believe physically. It's Atlas, so they're probably going to do a physical one anyway. So I'm very excited to see what those turn out to be because all three of those games are really great, and I hope that drawing the map works really well on Switch, because if it does, then I think that's going to be a high recommendation.
And all we need is just a 20-hour work week so that we can play all of these long games.
Games again. Yep.
Patreon.com/E1M1.
That's right. Tell your rich friends. Next up, Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. That finally has a release date again. It's April 21st. They delayed that because of the ongoing invasion of Ukraine. So they.
I swear, if something happens again, Nintendo are going to think this thing is cursed.
I know. Hopefully, all these Advance Wars games are cursed. But April 21st. If you haven't played Advance Wars 1 and 2, they're really good. Both of those games are really great. I highly recommend those. Next up, Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games are coming to Nintendo Switch Online, which my kid was very much like, Daddy, why are all of these games green? It's like, let me tell you about the Game Boy. That's the color it could do. So they showed off a bunch of cool Game Boy games like Mario Land 2, Link's Awakening. They showed off Tetris, of course. So they showed off a whole bunch of stuff. It's part of the second tier of Nintendo Switch Online expansion pass, whatever that's called.
I have it. I got it free for just not free. We do the monthly, not the monthly. Jesus, I can't talk. The $20 a year, whatever online thing it is.
Right.
It's with
the family pack thing.
Yeah, I don't know if they still have a free version of the online Switch stuff or not. But
yeah, I don't remember. But they have a bunch of cool Game Boy stuff. They have 3 modes: the Game Boy Pocket, and then Game Boy Color, which I think is kind of a fun thing for all of those. And then Game Boy Advance, they showed off a whole bunch of cool stuff over there too, like a bunch of Mario stuff, Mario Kart, Minish Cap, Legend of Zelda.
Which the Seasons games, Minish Cap is coming to it soon.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I saw Wario Land in there too, which is one of my favorite platformers of all time.
4, I think, is the one that's out now. Minish Cap is out now too. The 2 Oracle's games for Game Boy are coming out in the future, and I don't know when. Golden Sun is coming.
Oh man, they got Fusion coming out too. Metroid Fusion, good. Yep. I did not know that was as rare of a game as it is. Apparently.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Apparently, not a whole lot of people played enough people played it to make it successful, but apparently not a whole lot of people played that when it came out.
Oh, that game's great.
And now it's hard to find at reasonable prices.
Yeah, go play that game. That's a really great one.
Speaking of
Metroid, Metroid Prime, the first one got they're calling it a remaster. It's pretty remade.
It's a remake?
Yeah. They went and if you look at some side-by-side stuff of that, even like the Wii version of it, this is a considerably better looking version of the first Metroid Prime game. And it's available now. They just kind of put it out that day. This game looks great. They have multiple control modes, so you can play with the 2 sticks. You can play with the classic mode. You can kind of do a hybrid thing. And the first Metroid Prime game is really great. If you haven't played it, highly recommend it. It's super good.
Still no news about 4, except for that we're still working on it.
Yeah, I mean, the hope is that making this game has kind of gotten retro into the spirit of continuing to make 4, or maybe this will be the engine.
Hope when they re-released it on the Wii.
Yeah, someday, right?
So I heard today about the dumb things I know about video games, like the dumb facts.
Yeah.
In Metroid Prime specifically, when Samus is changing weapons with the cannon, she changes her finger layout that looks like the cannon, which they know through using the X-ray vision. So she full on is doing Naruto symbols by changing the different like cannon type.
One of the developers behind the first game a couple weeks ago posted about when there's static on the screen, they actually, because they had almost no space to create that game from kind of a RAM perspective. So the static is actually them printing out the source code of the game on screen. And that's what the static is. That's the easiest way for them to get around it. And I was like, you guys are great. All right, we got to keep clicking here. Master Detective Archives, Rain Code. This is a new, pretty creepy looking detective adventure game made by the Danganronpa guys. So you can kind of tell that by looking at it. Curious to see what this is going to be. The trailer doesn't make it super clear about what's going on, but that's not too much of a surprise.
At least it doesn't look like he has orphan vision.
Right. I mean, we'll see the final game, I guess. Bot and Kaidos 1 and 2 are getting their HD remasters coming out. These are coming out in the summer. They're doing a bunch of quality of life improvements like auto battle and stuff like that. So these people really loved these games on GameCube, and
It was a really good game. Both of them.
I never played them, and I'm pretty excited to go through and play these this time. So if anyone hasn't seen it, it's essentially like a card-based JRPG. Where your attacks and spells and all that stuff are your cards, and it's a real-time battling game.
A really good game, and they're really long too. So I'm glad that they changed the options for the encounter rates, where you have like full control over the encounter rates and everything too. So
I love it. 2 thumbs up.
But yeah, these were awesome games.
And then they finished out with a trailer for Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, which we now finally have. Qualification on what that is. It's not tears, it's tears. This still looks pretty good. Link's got a messed up arm. He's building a dragon car out of parts. There's a red sun. You got a sword. It looks pretty cool. I don't know what else to say. I feel like if you're listening to the show, you're probably also excited to play a new thing from Zelda, and hopefully it'll be good. So I don't know. The thing that I'm happy about is you don't always get a Switch trailer that runs well on video. I'm happy to see that at least in this promotional video, the game runs well, because we don't always get that. That was
running a dolphin, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Here's a digital code. Here's a copy of the latest build of Dolphin. Here's how you play it. So I don't know. That still looks pretty good, but I mean, a new Zelda game is kind of a cause for excitement anyway. So I'll buy that when it comes out May 12th. Reminder: if you haven't seen it, it's $70. So Nintendo is dipping their toes into that lake. Thanks, 2K. And Nintendo said, well, not every game is going to be $70. It's like, sure.
Yeah.
Sure thing. All right, next news story here. Everspace 2, All Hail the Gunship, is coming out of early access April 6th. So that's the PC release. The PS5 and Series console releases are still planned for summer 2023. Nothing more firm than that. They did take a chance to announce that the PS4 and Xbox One versions have been canceled because downscaling Everspace 2 to those platforms does not hit the level of quality that we want to deliver, which, fair enough. I mean, I appreciate the kind of honesty there, but
yeah.
I'm really looking forward to picking up Everspace 2. Everyone playing the early access says it's really great. Reminder, it's not a roguelike anymore, if that kind of pushed you off of the first one. Yeah, it's a
Diablo space game.
Yeah, it's a Diablo spaceship looter shooter. So I played a little bit of that early access, and I kind of liked what I saw, but I didn't, like we usually do, most of us don't want to play the early access one. We'll just wait until the full game comes out. So... Everspace 2, super pumped to play it sometime this summer. I'm not going to play that on PC, let's be honest. something else really leaving early access is Darkest Dungeon 2. That's coming out on May 8th, launching on both Epic Games Store and Steam. So that was an Epic Games Store exclusive for the early access. Really curious to see what this is going to be in its final form, because boy, feedback for the early access has not been good. A lot of people saying, hey, I loved Darkest Dungeon 1, and boy, you guys whiffed on the second one. Which is surprising, because it seems like the formula worked already, but...
is it gameplay? Is it difficulty?
It just seems to be, from what I've seen most people saying, is, one, they really don't like the carriage racing thing in between battles, because you're kind of maneuvering the carriage between stages, and you're kind of dodging and moving it across this kind of like auto runner, which seems to miss the point completely. And then it just seems like I think if there's one thing you can say about the first Darkest Dungeon, whether you like it or not, is it was kind of a challenging game, but never felt super unfair. And
that's a lie. That is a lie.
You just got to look out for the traps, man.
Unfair.
Yeah,
it was 1,000% unfair.
So I feel like they didn't get the difficulty balance and some of the class balance right in the early access, which is great, because that's what early access is for. I mean, hopefully it's not like the Wii Roguelike a Curse, where it's like it came out of early access and it's impossibly difficult unless you've been playing it for the last 3 years. So hopefully not. And last news story here, just a PSA that a new Double Fine documentary got released this week. Double Fine and, was it 2-Player Productions, put out a documentary about Psychonauts 2. They have been recording video daily for the last 7 years of the development of this game. They put this out on YouTube and the Internet Archive. It's 32 episodes long. Most episodes are in like the 45-minute to an hour range. So, and episode 26 just turned out to be, hey, go watch the Amnesia Fortnite movie from 2019. That's episode 26. So, like, you got a lot of stuff in there, but I highly recommend going and watching the trailer. Like all the other stuff they've put out, it's kind of a no punches pulled view of the people behind making video games. So it seems like it's a really honest kind of portrayal of the ups and downs of making this huge game. That, reminder, got funded on Fig. That's how long ago this game started its development. So go check that out. I'm going to try and watch this pretty soon, because I've barely played any of Psychonauts 2, but I like the documentaries that come out of Double Fine. So go check that out. Boy, this episode ran super long. All right, we got to go. Thank you, Angel Eye, for sending in a question. We'll save that for next week. Hopefully that'll be a shorter episode. But if you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page. Don't forget to join the Discord. That's on the right-hand side of the page, or discord.tvgp.tv. Go subscribe, comment, like on the YouTube channel. All of that stuff really helps. And don't forget patreon.com/E1M1.
Those ones are numbers.
Get all the cool access and early access to the audio we talked about at the beginning of the show. Don't forget the first episode of The Wayward Sons comes out this week on Tuesday, February 14th. So you can check that out everywhere. If you want future episodes, you need to sign up for the $5 tier or higher. Don't forget about that or higher part. Thank you for supporting the show, because your money supports us by paying for hosting, software. I just got another bill from the hosting. It's just like, hey man, here's your hosting for the year, and it's like, oh god. So thank you for supporting the show, because that stuff is so expensive. Oh my god. And Adobe is making it more expensive every day. Thanks so much, Adobe.
Adobe is, oh my god,
it's the worst, man. I hate it.
Yeah.
Boo hiss. But if you can't support us financially, the best way of supporting us is by sharing on social media, telling your friends, especially word of mouth is huge, commenting on YouTube, rating us 5 stars, or the maximum amount of likes or stars or podcast waffles or however you can rate us on your platform. Yeah.
I will take some podcast waffles.
That's right. It is dinner time. I am hungry. But if you got anything less than the maximum amount, just keep that to yourself. Don't worry about it. You can DM me somewhere. You can leverage your complaints directly at me and be cool. Otherwise, I'll block you. I like blocking people. That's my favorite thing. It's half of what I do on Twitter nowadays. Anywho, that's our episode. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. We'll see you all next week. Bye.
Oh.
Bye.
All right, Nymph, what are your titles?
Boy, I don't have a whole lot. So,
okay.
First one is Keep On Keeping On Bill. Enter the Bird Zone.
Oh, God.
And rate us with podcast waffles.
Moon, what do you have?
You definitely do with some waffles.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Pathetic Little Tactics. 3 leader drops. Marvel Snap Representative. MODOK Season. Isaac Has a Voice. The Bird Things / The Bird Zone. Dignity and Aplomb. Only Rookies Kill. So Simple. This is user friendly. Maximize his Palicos. Switchified. Get Out of My Store. 2 days away from retirement. Drifted that boat and running on Dolphin.
I have Isaac Has a Voice. He's maximizing his Palicos. Enter the Bird Zone, and then I like that 2 days away from retirement. What do you guys like?
I really like maximizing his Palicos.
I think that's my front runner here. That's just a ridiculous statement overall, and I really love it.
But also, if you're in the know, it makes perfect sense.
Like, of course, he's maximizing Palicos. Come on, what else are you going to do? All right, I'll circle it. I think that's a winner. Let me know when you're ready.
I am ready.
Oh my, so ready.
I'm kind of ready.
Okay. All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 799 for February 13th, 2023. He's maximizing his Palicos.
I need to replace Louise.
I just spent 6 hours getting the most adorable hat for my Palico.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening and watching. We greatly appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.